Okay, we're on Ketubot, Parak Yud Gimel, Mishnah Yud, 10th and second to last Mishnah in Masechet Ketubot. So we're finished with the halachot of Admon, and now the last two Mishnayot deal with, the idea of when a couple gets married. We're in Masechet Ketubot, we're finishing up Masechet Ketubot. So that when a couple gets married, somebody's moving, because one person is going to another person's new home. In general, the wife went to the husband's new home. So the Mishnah discusses what are the limits of how far a husband can insist that his wife moves. Says the Mishnah, Shalosh aritzot lenusuim. For our purposes, there are three separate lands for the purposes of marriage. Yehuda, Judea, Ever HaYarden, the other side of the Jordan River. Today would be Jordan, VaHaGalil, and the Galil. So I found a website about, talks about, it was actually the history of Aristobulos Harishon, the Kohen Gadol named Aristobulos. And you see this beautiful map, okay, where this basically outlines the Mamlacha, or the Jewish settlement in general. Okay, Yehuda, I don't know if there's Shomron, Edom, I don't know what that might be, I don't know how much where the Jews live in here, the Yehuda, Eber HaYarden, and the Galil. This is generally the Jewish, according to the Mishnah, I'm not a historian, but the Jewish settlement. So there's these three lands, and in the lands, Ein Motzi'in Mi'ir Li'ir, Umikrach Lakrach. Even a husband cannot force his wife to move even from a city to another city, from a city in one area to a city in another area, or a krach. A krach is a larger city; it's a metropolis from their point of view, where there's a gadomir, where there's a place where there's shvakim. Shuk is a market. So a city is like for our perspective, was a small town, and a krach is a bigger city. We saw this term of krachim in Masechet Megillah. So, if a husband, im nasa isha be'achat mehem, let's move this up so we can see. So he cannot force her to say, okay, I'm moving. Let's go back to our, they got married in the Galil, and he decides, I want to move to Ever HaYarden. He can't force her. She can say, no, whoa, my family lives here. I agreed to marry and move to your town, but we're not moving all the way to another country, to another county. No way. That's what the Mishnah says. Eino motzim mi'ir li'ir, even if he's saying, but it's a city, it's the same. Or she lives in a krach. We're going to a krach in Ever. No, you can't do that. Aval be'otah haaretz, but in the same eretz, in the same land, meaning in the same county, we'll call it, or municipality, motzi'in mi'ir li'ir umikrach lekrach. He can force her, or coerce her, say, I'm going to go from one city to another, or from one krach to another krach. Avalo mi'ir lekrach, v'lo mikrach le'ir. If she's a city person, he can't force her to go to the metropolis. If she likes a small town, she likes the suburbs, he can't force her to go to the city. And similarly, if she likes the city, he can't force her to move to the suburbs. Makes sense to me. I'm a suburb kind of guy. The city is a little too busy, too noisy. Motzi'im minaveh hara'a lenaveh hayafa. Let's look at Bar Tunura. What does this mean? Okay, minaveh. A naveh is like, I have to look up this word. It's the Kahati says, a naveh, okay, is makom dira ra'ah. Okay, it's a place that's, not as nice, not as pleasant. Okay, the place where you can't get as much produce, as much food, etc., etc. Let's look up the word naveh. It means a place. I looked up in the Jastro, okay, and you got a bonus. Naveh, a marked off place, a circle, a dwelling. But we have the Jastro bonus, or yesh omim Jastro jackpot. A husband may compel his wife to move with him from a worse to a better house. Naveh is like a style of living. It's an interesting word. Somebody who was interested in such things would study what the Chazal meant by that naveh, what they meant by choosing that word. But anyway, so a husband can say, we're moving from neighborhood to neighborhood. We want to go to the better neighborhood. But he can't force her to move from the nice neighborhood to the worst neighborhood. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says, he can't even compel her, he can't force his wife, she has to agree, to move. He can't move from a worse neighborhood to a better neighborhood. Why? Because the nicer neighborhood bodek, it checks. Let's look at the Bar Tunura. Bodek et guf umachlio. It checks your body and your temperament. Shinoi vesed afilu letova tchilat cholei me'ayim. The Bar Tunura takes it in the direction of health. Because when you move to a nicer place or a better place, people begin to get sick. If her temperament is for the bad neighborhood. But I think it's more than that. Some people, they like simple living, and then they move to a nicer neighborhood, and it's not for them. And she says to the husband, we didn't sign up for this. This is not the kind of lifestyle we signed up for. The last thing I'll add is this is all true when they married in one place. But let's say a husband from Yehuda marries a wife from Eber HaYarden. Of course, it's understood that she's moving to his house. We'll stop here and dedicate our learning to memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.